Good morning and happy Lurzday Thursday to you all. I'm Rudolph Lurz and welcome back to my channel. As promised, here we are, first week of March, and we finally have another Lurzday Thursday podcast. So, I am an educator, a writer, and this podcast is a short time of 45 to 60 minutes where I discuss things that I find interesting and provide, hopefully, some entertainment and some informative and interesting knowledge for you all. So that's where we're at. I know I've been absent for a few weeks, dealing with sickness and travel and a job that actually pays me. So it's been a very busy period, and I'm very happy to be back on camera and with my small but loyal audience. Hopefully, one that will soon grow. So I start off every podcast with my highlights and salutations, where I give shout outs to those who have engaged with previous episodes, those who have sent messages to me, and any advertisers on my page. And spoiler alert, there are no advertisers. Not at the moment. But if you're interested, I'm happy to provide a shout out for you and your firm. So you know that given the fact that I'm not paid for this, that everything that I endorse in this unedited, low-tech podcast is one that I actually believe in and my actual true and unfiltered thoughts on the topics. So, shout out to Tyrese Travels. It's a good travel page and they interact regularly on my podcast, and I know that Tyrese Travels will likely be watching this today. So, shout out to you. Thank you for being on my page, and thank you for watching these episodes. You're appreciated. So that brings us to the next segment of our show, which is dad jokes. I'm a father of two amazing daughters, and ever since we found out that we were going to be having a child, so when my older daughter was still in the womb, my wife got me a book of dad jokes. And now my students and other family members have also got me dad jokes, so I always have plenty to provide. So here's the dad jokes of the day. What is the highest form of flattery? A plateau. A plateau. Highest form of flattery. Good geography joke there. And who's the largest knight at King Arthur's Round Table? That'll be the famous circumference. I think that one's good too. Spring is almost upon us, and I have not been golfing lately, and I miss it dearly. I'm so bad at golf, but I enjoy it. It's so nice to be out for 9 holes or 18 holes in nature, trying to win a very difficult game against yourself, which is much of life. So I have 2 golf quotes for the Lurz quotes of the day today. So, from the famous Ben Hogan, he noted the most important shot in golf is the next one. The most important shot in golf is the next one. And this one's from another famous old golfer, Bobby Jones. And this is one of my favorites. Golf is the closest game to the game we call life. You get bad breaks from good shots. You get good breaks from bad shots. but you have to play the ball as it lies. I love this. I love both of these quotes, and I think they work well together, which is why I wanted to put them together for this quote of the day segment. So, from Bobby Jones, that's so reflective of life. You get good breaks from bad shots, you get bad breaks from good shots. You can hit a terrible shot in golf, and if you get a good bounce, one that you didn't deserve to get, you can find yourself putting for birdie with a 5 or 6 foot putt. You can hit a perfect drive. You can hit as good of a drive as you could ever hit and be right in the middle of the fairway and find yourself in a divot where somebody has taken a chunk out of the ground. Now you get hit from the mud. That's so reflective of life, but it's so easy to pat yourself on the back when you did poorly, but the results are good, and then to beat yourself up when you did everything perfectly and the results didn't turn out as they were expected. I love talking about resultism. I call it I call this phenomenon resultism because it's in a philosophical obsession with the result versus the preparation, the strategy, the execution, working with the data that you had at the time, living in the present versus living in the future and evaluating things as purely on the basis of results versus process. And we are so obsessed with that result that we will repeat mistakes when we got lucky and will discard effective processes when we get unlucky, essentially. So, the most important shot, however you play, the most important shot is the next one. And not to get too down on yourself when you get unlucky, not to get too full of yourself when you just got a good break. You just got to play the next shot as it lies and do the best you can with what you have where you are. It's a Teddy Roosevelt quote that I like to bring up. So, very important lessons from 2 golfers today, and hopefully I get out on the course in 2026. I don't think I made it out to the course at all in 2025. It was a very busy year, and that's the first year in a long time where I haven't made it to a course. I think I might have made a driving range once. Man, I miss it. Miss being out there. Hopefully I can get back out there this coming year. That brings us up to our next segment, which is the Lurs World Rankings. I power rank the world. I power rank the things randomly that I find good and the things that I find bad. And this week we're going to start off with the Lurs World Rankings bottom 5. The things that I thought were not great this week. We're going to start off with creepy ads that know too much on social media. Man, this got me this week because it was like they were in my brain off of something so completely random. So one of these creepy ads turned out to be pretty effective. That's from, I think the company was called Breeze. I have a long torso. I am pretty much all torso. I'm like Hobbes from Calvin and Hobbes. I'm a pretty tall guy, about 6'2". But my legs are very short for somebody who's 6'2". I have a long torso. So I saw an ad from Breeze, which makes these sweaters that do a much better job of like extending down so they don't ride up. Because an issue I have with sweaters having a long torso is that sweaters will ride up on me. No one needs to see my midriff, that's for sure. So either get a sweater that's way too big or sweater that rides up. But Breeze, they make this sweater that's more form-fitting, and I'm a bigger guy, so form-fitting, I normally am like, heck no, I don't want that modern fit. I'm a pretty big dude. Modern fit normally does not work for me, especially with the legs of suits. That does not work. Modern fit is made for people who are like 160 pounds. But these sweaters were nice. They actually did what they're supposed to do. They fit perfectly. And I was very impressed with these Breeze sweaters. I've had my eyes on them for a while. And I got a few, and I'll probably get a few more. Their polos are also nice. But here's where it got weird. After I got I bought 3 sweaters from them. And after I bought those sweaters, suddenly my Facebook page is inundated with other things. And the creepy thing is, I want all of it. It was 100% accurate what I wanted. So I got sweaters. And now suddenly, Lurzday Boot Company, which also makes leather jackets. So do you like these boots and this leather jacket? I didn't buy this. This is my old leather jacket. I've had this leather jacket for about 20 years. The zipper's broken. It's what I have in my basement office to keep me warm. But I do need a brown leather jacket. I would love a brown leather jacket. So Lurzday Boot Company, just like just from a sweater, they just extrapolated that to be like, you look like the kind of guy who would like this brown leather jacket and this brown pair of dress boots. Do you like this look? And then I saw luggage. All this fancy luggage. Nice bags, nice little rolling carry-on suitcases. Just like, would you like to have this noble carry-on with this little laptop holder? Look how nice it is. There are no zippers. I have not said once on social media that I got a busted zipper, and I have issues with zippers. Here's creepy ads, just like, no, they know me. It's like the algorithms know me pretty well, and it's startling how well they know me. And just like, all right, we also have these journals for you, leather-bound journals. Look at these nice pens with these journals. Would you like a new leather-bound journal? Would you like a stately outfit set? Look at this outfit for you. We make outfits for you. We send them to you in a box. Does this look like something you'd like? This is called old money. I'm like, and I was freaked out because all those ads, from the Lurzday boots and jackets to the stately outfits to the luggage, the journals, the pens, all of it. I'm like, I could see myself getting all of that. All because I bought a sweater. It extrapolated, and now it's got me pinned down. Because I guess I looked at some of those ads that came up a little longer, and then more ads that fit that. I guess that fits the profile. It's creeped me out. It's creepy how much they know about you. It's creepy what the algorithms show them. But I don't have infinite funds, so I cannot get all of that. But I could get a sweater. All right, so it creeps me out. This is in the bottom 5 because it creeps me out. Not because I don't like the ads. I like them all. I would have gotten all of those if I had infinite funds. But I don't. But it creeps me out how much they know about me. It's like they know I like all those things. Now I'll update you to see what new stuff comes up this coming week that I also would like. All right, 4. All right, so when the gym is completely empty, you go in there, you expect to easily find a locker. But this bottom 5 of my power rankings is all the people who just abuse the system. Those are supposed to be day lockers, which means your stuff needs to be out of there within 24 hours. And most people don't need 24 hours to work out. And I think it's a generous allotment to allow 24 hours. But here we have a full, all those lockers are taken and you only get the tiny little ones that are left. And you look around the gym and it's empty. And then they just stay on there all week long. So what the heck? Stop abusing the locker situation. I hope that somebody knocks that lock off your locker that you have taken, is not yours, and puts all your stuff in lost and found. It's making it hard for people who actually do use the gym regularly and need a locker. Planet Fitness is the worst for this. Like when I go to, like, my wife's got a family membership at the YMCA, they're great. Like I never run into this problem at the Y. I run into the problem at Planet Fitness because people just put the stuff in the locker, put the lock on, and just like, well, there's my storage facility for the week. No, you're supposed to have it for the time you're in the gym, and then you should take your stuff and go. Too many people just using it as a storage facility. It's not your personal locker. Get your stuff out of there. You're in the bottom 5 of my power rankings at number 4. Number 3, I recently went on a work trip and then to Las Vegas. I like Las Vegas. It's a good city. I enjoy my time there. I also meet some friends there every year. So I sort of combine business and leisure on this trip. But casinos. You're in the bottom 5. It's just, I don't dig the vibe at the casino. They pump in all that air, all that, the oxygenation, whatever they do. I know they pump in extra ox to create the sense of euphoria. But it's sad and defeated. The vibes are not good. You got people who are run down and defeated and bitter a lot of the time. Occasionally get that, like, people are having a hot streak and it's like you get like a sort of community, like everybody's rooting together for at a table. But there's a lot of negativity in these casinos and it's not a good vibe. It's not good. And the smoke, so you got that weird, like they pump in the extra oxygen and it's also really smoky. Not into it. Not into it at all. So, casinos, not my vibe. And I like Las Vegas, but I don't like the casinos. Don't like the casinos. For that reason, casino floor, not a pleasant place. Number 3, not top 10. Number 2, this is a term I don't really like as a dad. Especially as a dad who's the primary caregiver at home. My wife works 70, 80 hours a week. I handle the majority of domestic duties because I work majority remote. And so I handle the kids, the pickups, the drop-offs, mostly pickups, but I also do a lot of the drop-offs too. So kids, chores, keeping up the house, I do most of that. I do the majority of it. Dishes, laundry, it's on me. And I accept that. I accept that role. We're a team. But there's this term that I hear often, which is called weaponized incompetence. As in, guys will just purposefully be bad at those domestic things in order to avoid doing them. I'm aware it happens. I'm aware that happens. But it gives dads like myself bad rap. Makes me feel bad when that's assumed to be the case. Like, I'm aware I have privilege. I'm aware of that. I'm well aware of that. But I don't like this perception that when I do something poorly, I'm doing it poorly on purpose, so I don't have to do it. My wife doesn't like the way how I load the dishwasher. But most of the time, if I'm hurting somebody, I'm hurting myself. because I'm the one who's doing dishes 5 out of 7 days of the week. I'm not I'm not weaponizing incompetence. If I make mistakes, it's not purposeful. But yet, because there are so many out there who are apparently doing this, it gives all of us dads a bad rap. And it made me sad to hear that this is to see it's so prevalent out there. I don't like the term. I think that some of these terms are when things don't go exactly how you want them to go. These terms are tossed around far too capriciously. Well, gaslighting is another one. Listen, anytime that you hear something you don't like, it's automatically gaslighting. You're not always being gaslit. That is a serious problem. But if you conflate that with just everything that you don't like is gaslighting, then suddenly the term loses its power and its meaning in a very important time, because that is happening. Gaslighting does take place, but if it is just automatically tossed about too readily, then it loses a lot of its meaning, as does this weaponized incompetence. I'm not hurting anybody with my incompetence when I am incompetent because I'm the one doing all these chores. So this assumption that men are, in particular, are doing things purposefully to avoid them. I don't like that. I don't like these terms that are being tossed around too readily, because it minimizes actual problems in society. Because it is. I mean, it does, like I said before, I'm well aware of my privilege. I'm well aware that being a tall male with a deep voice provides me benefit in society. There was a case when we were moving out here to Spokane. Our girls are in swimming lessons. And we were leaving for Spokane, and we provided, and it said you had to provide a month's notice to avoid getting auto charged for the next month of swim lessons when we were leaving. So we provided the notice. And then when my wife attempted to get the charge removed, because she saw the charge appear on schedule, even though we had provided notice, they told her just like, no, this needs to be in-person notice. Nowhere in the contract does it say in-person notice. It says notice. And I think she sent an email. And they said the charge is going to remain. And I said, well, that's ridiculous. It doesn't say that in the contract. So I called. And I said the exact same thing my wife had said. Got an entirely different response. Immediately said, oh, we're so sorry. The charge will be removed immediately. I said, well, thank you. Why was there a different reaction to when I called and said something about the charge versus an hour earlier when my wife had done the same? That's just like, my wife was so upset about it. She's like, all right, I'm mad about the fact that they immediately were so nice to you. I'm glad that we got the charge revoked. I'm glad we got our money back, but that's messed up. And it is messed up. We do live in a patriarchal society. But not everything is weaponized incompetence, and not everything is gaslighting. So those terms are on my bottom 5 this week, not because they don't exist, but because they're being so overused that it's diluting the terms. Both of those, actually. So both those terms, weaponized incompetence and gaslighting, the overuse is an issue. And there are dads like me out there who are handling the brunt of the domestic responsibility who just don't like that. Don't like that at all. Because it makes it seem like we're just trying to avoid it. And I'm definitely not. I'm shouldering it, not avoiding it. So don't like that. All right. And finally, number one is just inflation. And you see this when you're traveling, especially. Everything costs so much. And multiple different, very different political leaders have been in Congress and in the Oval Office. And they don't seem to be figuring it out. I know this has been on my bottom 5 before, and here it is again. Figure it out. These are the issues facing Americans. Put aside the rancor for a second. Get together. Figure it out. As a former football coach, there was a sign in my locker room that said, "Great things are accomplished when no one cares who gets the credit." When the team wins, everyone wins. The team needs to win on this issue because the American people are losing. Inflation and prices rising, income being squeezed, that's a problem. So please fix this. Fix the inflation issue. That should be the number one focus, because people are hurting out there. A lot of people are hurting. And they've been hurting under Democratic and Republican administrations and leadership. So rather than credit claiming and blaming and finger pointing, it's time to figure it out. Put real solutions on the table. So those are the bottom 5. Creepy ads, the guys at the gym who take the lockers, the sad defeated casinos, weaponizing competence, and gaslighting as overused terms which are diluting their value, and finally, inflation. Now let's have happier news, the top 5 of the week. So, as you can see with this very sad 5-day-old mustache, I am growing a mustache because it is Mustache March every year. I will maintain just the mustache and keep everything else trim. And I have a beginning of the month picture of my only just a few days sad mustache. Then at the end of the month, I show the full mustache. And then I post a hashtag on my LinkedIn page with Mustache March. And I encourage all my friends and colleagues to join me in donating $30 to the Wounded Warrior Project. It's a good cause for our nation's heroes who return from combat theaters and return from war zones with scars, both seen and unseen. And they deserve our support. And Wounded Warrior Project is a good cause for that. So every year, I donate $30 to the Wounded Warrior Project and try to raise awareness of that as well as I can with my limited reach. And that includes my podcast and my LinkedIn page. So, Mustache March, love doing it each year. Dig the stash. Let's bring back the stash. Show your Mustache March pictures and donate to a good cause for the Wounded Warrior Project. So that's number 5 on my positives this week. Number 4 is kind of a random one. Water chestnuts in Asian food. A lot of Asian dishes will include water chestnuts, and those things are awesome. I love that crunch. That crunch of that water chestnut is one of my favorite bites. In a noodle dish. More things should include water chestnuts because they're an underused and underappreciated part of the canned food aisle. Water chestnuts are amazing. Number 4 in the top 5 this week. Number 3, remember I said number 3 was, on my bottom 5 was casinos because they're sad and defeated and not that fun. Like honestly, there's a lot of better things than that. And in Vegas, I love the Arts District. And because the Arts District is the brewery district. I love breweries, and especially Nevada Brew Works. So shout out to Nevada Brew Works. Great food, great spot, right in the middle of the Arts District, close to all the breweries. That place has great vibes and a good cause. So they donate their foundation to help families with children who have pretty severe disabilities. And all the people at Nevada Brew Works I go there each year. I go to Vegas, and that's a great place. I highly recommend the pizza. Man, that was good. Good pizza, good cheese curds, great beer. So, Nevada Brew Works, number 3 on my top 5 things this week. Number 3 in the top 5, Nevada Brew Works. Go there. Really good vibes there. More time there, less time at the casino. Number 2, the Premier League run-in. One of the best things in sports. So the Premier League has competition for Champions League and Europa League positions and Conference League positions. So the top of the table, the top teams in the Premier League get to compete in European continental competitions in the next season. And the bottom teams risk getting relegated to the second division or the third division or so on and so on, because it's a pyramid system where you have a top division, then further down the line, second, third, fourth division in the English Football League, then down into the National League and even further down the line. So it means that you can't just, the end of the season's exciting, whether you're competing for a European position or whether you're trying to survive and stay in the league next year. I don't like it as a Forest fan because we're at the bottom of that table. We're doing okay in the Europa League because we did great last year and qualified for Europe. And we're actually doing well in that competition. But I'm really hoping we could stay in the league. We just tied, man, we just got a draw on the road at Man City, which is one of the best teams in the league. So, Forest, we're in coach number 4, having a very disappointing domestic campaign, but it's still exciting. And it's one of the best months in sports as you get those last 10 games and you get the run-in, and you also get to see who lifts the trophies for all the cup competitions. It's a great end of the year. So I know March Madness is cool. American playoffs are okay. I love the Premier League run-in, and that's to me, that's like the action at the top and the bottom make it really, really exciting. You don't see anybody trying to tank because they're going to get relegated and lose millions of dollars if they do. So they're fighting to stay in. Promotion and relegation. Great system. And number 1. Oh man, this one hurts. The 5 Mile Pet Clinic is my number 1 this week, as you all have been great for my dear, sweet old cat Perseus, who crossed the Rainbow Bridge on February 20th. Perseus now belongs to the ages. And that's really sad. I'll try not to cry. But they were very supportive as we tried our Hail Mary measures to give him a little more time with us. He had pretty bad kidney failure, very bad kidney failure. His kidneys weren't working, couldn't stay hydrated. Tried to get him on a kidney diet, tried to give him a shot of antibiotics in case there was a kidney infection that the labs weren't seeing, but it was pretty tough at the end. And I miss my cat a lot. But 5 Mile Pet Clinic, that team there, they're really, really good. So, number 1, my power rankings this week goes to 5 Mile Pet Clinic. Thank you. Thank you for your compassion in a difficult time. That's hard. Cat was, I don't know his exact age. It was between 16 and 20 years old because we got him in 2015. And he's been with us through all of our various moves. Man. Daughters are taking it hard. It's a tough time. Okay. Next segment. Trying to keep it lighter. I had mentioned this before. I'll do arts, literature, film, and TV things that are interesting in that realm for me this week. Uh, I did compete in the NYC Midnight Short Story Contest. I'm awaiting the results of the first round, so fingers crossed, hoping to advance with my story. I drew historical fiction, which is a genre I do enjoy. But then I had the character of a hooligan and a theme of full steam ahead. So we'll see where my story goes. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that it goes well. It's all fully anonymous and blind judging, so my name is not on the story. But I'll find out if it advances sometime next month. So I'll let you know shortly if I did advance to the next round of competition. Fingers crossed. I'm watching the show School Spirits. I enjoy that show a lot. Sort of like the paranormal and the little dystopian realities. This is less, I guess it's a pretty bad dystopia. that community of Split River, they're going through some stuff. But School Spirits, good show. I'm in the middle of the present season, season 3, and I do recommend it. Then the third is kind of random. Remote Chess Academy they show some good videos on YouTube. It's interesting, good commentary. I'm mediocre at chess. I win slightly more than I lose, but I'm not that good. I don't have the ability to avoid some bad traps, some clever ones. I'm not that clever. But I do enjoy the Remote Chess Academy videos because I'm constantly, as a writer and as a chess player, everything I'm trying to get a little better each day and figure out why instead of remaining stagnant. Woody Hayes, great football coach at Ohio State, once said that football teams are never standing still. They're either improving or they're getting worse. No highest form of flattery and plateauing for that one. So I'm trying to do that in life and constantly improving myself. Not looking at the results in particular, but rather the process, which brings me to my closing statement. Going back to Bobby Jones, you get bad breaks from good shots, you get good breaks from bad shots, but you have to play the ball as it lies. And Ben Hogan, the most important shot in golf is the next one. No matter where you end up, you have to play the ball as it lies. You have to advance. You have to do the best you can with that next shot. And so much of life is that. And you could spend the time ruminating over that fact, over the bad break when you get one, or celebrating and thinking you were the man when you just got a lucky break from a terrible shot. But too much in society is obsessed with that what I call resultism. Is that rather than look at the process and improve the process. Because if you improve the process, the odds are better that you'll get more good shots. You might occasionally get bad breaks, but more good shots will lead to eventual better results and outcomes. Statistically speaking, the better the processes, the more you improve the process and more you improve yourself and how you play, you will eventually likely get better results. There's another good coaching adage I remember from my time as a football coach, which is you're never as bad as you thought you were after a loss. When you evaluate the film, you're never as bad as you thought you were. And you're never as good as you thought you were after a win. You'll see the mistakes. You'll see the lucky breaks. And in the losses, you'll see where you did everything right. You had the right play call, and just one guy against another guy, and their guy won. Jimmy's and Joe's, more than X's and O's. So in life, that also is so true. You're never as bad as you thought you were when you experience a defeat. And you're normally never as good as you thought you were after a win. Improve the process, improve yourself, and the results will come. And that means the hardest part for a lot of us, myself included as a perfectionist. You have to forgive yourself when things don't go your way. You have to look yourself in the eye, in the mirror, promise your reflection to be a better person tomorrow. When you make mistakes, because you will. And you have to evaluate all aspects of your defeats and all aspects of your wins. And constantly strive for self-improvement. That's my advice from an old man with a very weak 5-day-old mustache, which hopefully will be in a better and more full position at the end of Mustache March. So that's all I have for you today in this episode of Lurzday Thursday. Be good to yourself, forgive yourself, and constantly seek ways to improve your own personal process and improve each step of the way in victory and defeat. That's something no one tells you when you're young, that you're going to make mistakes which will result in big financial losses, personal defeats, relationship problems. All those things will occur in life. And you have to forgive yourself. Look at the situation with honesty. Be honest with yourself, especially with the wins. I talked earlier about Sigmund Freud in an earlier podcast. Against attacks, you can defend yourself. Against praise, you're powerless. So you have to have an honest evaluation of all the games that you've played in life. Evaluate the positives, the negatives, and seek to improve, which includes forgiving yourself when you're wrong and when you make mistakes, even when you take some big L's along the way. Because if you keep improving, the victories will come, and they're so much sweeter when they do. Life is full of enough L's without giving one to yourself. So, until next time, I'm Rudolph Lurz. This has been the Lurzday Thursday podcast. And may all your Thursdays be Lurzday Thursdays. Lurz out.